Merriam-Webster defines democracy as a form of government in which people choose leaders by voting. And democracy is a system many nations use, including the Republic of Korea. However, the current Korean administration has completely forfeited democracy, and this is because people who have not been elected have taken part in major decisions in the government for their own good. Major evidences has been revealing since October, and they continue to arise without stopping. The people of Korea have taken this issue to the streets since November, gathering over 1 million people each time, which is about 3% of the entire population. On the last day of 2016, I decided to take part in this peaceful movement and went out to join people all across the country. The entire process of these people hindering justice is too complicated and difficult for me to explain in this video, but one thing is certainly clear. People who should not have power had power. They controlled the president and the government. The executive branch gave the control of the country over to these people, and they completely demolished the checks and balances system with the legislative branch and the judicial branch. The people were coming out to the streets for an impeachment of the president. On the first week of December, she was. Now, the people are coming out to order the president to leave office immediately and take responsibility for her actions. There has been many rallies in the past, from 1980. The reasons behind the rallies back then were also to preserve democracy for the people. So, has Korean democracy evolved, or has it gotten better for the past 30 years? We continue walking down the street towards the sector where the police barricades are set up. Because the mayor Seoul's political views are towards impeachment, he has provided assistance for the citizens in having a large-scale but peaceful rally, such as opening up the streets or free Wi-Fi distribution for the people to use. The rallies that have been held are unique in that there is no violence involved, and people bring out a candle in a cup. Here, we can already see people coming back from the rally. These rallies must be registered to the Police Department of Seoul prior to it taking place. And today, December 31st, the registered time was about 12 to 14 hours. You can hear chants and shouting distinctly from the west. There was another rally going on in front of the city hall held by the extremist right side viewers. People there were arguing that the impeachment was illegal and the mayor should be prosecuted. Police officers are lined up here with cones. From this area, citizens can freely walk out onto the streets, and this is where the rally officially begins.
찍은 사진을 나 보내줄 수 있어? 아니 사진 하나도 안 찍었어. 오늘 셀카도 찍어.
The mouse pointer indicates at what streets the protests were held. The long vertical street is the main street, and the one perpendicular to the right. Looking at it from the street view, you can see a tall building to your right. That is the Administration of Taxation of Korea, and the streets that you see here were completely covered by the protesters. One of the best things a lot of people at Seoul enjoy the most when they come to these rallies are that there's freedom, there's peace, and there's the opportunity to share your idea with others. A lot of musicians and artists visit these rallies for a free performance and to share their ideas about the current government with the general public. Another nice thing about these rallies are that other people that are not Korean, the people who are touring Seoul, or the people who live in Seoul that are foreign, can also visit these rallies and participate freely. And to these people, these rallies are a great opportunity to look at the political views of different Koreans and what Koreans think when it comes to Korean politics and policy making. Stickers of flowers are stuck on the police buses. This is a tradition passing down from the 80s, where protesters back then used to give flowers to the police officers. Now, if you remember that building on your right, that is the Korean Administration of Taxation, which I showed you on the map. And the streets were completely filled up with protesters, and thousands of police officers that were there. The police officers are there to protect us from sudden dangers of terror or other things that can happen. We try to approach a nearby building so we can get a close shot of the general public that will stretch across the whole street, but it was impossible to get through without budging into some people. People were yelling and shouting what they wanted to say towards the president. And there were kids, there were the elderly, there were people who were disabled, Everyone was coming out to display their thoughts and ideas. The woman in the background is yelling about the president getting impeached, new facts that have to be discovered, and how the prosecution process of the president has to be sped up. The process has been getting delayed for about 2 months or 3 months, and people are beginning to get tired, which is something that the policymakers or the president herself want. And to prevent this from being happening, prosecution has to be sped up, so that the people's attention, or the general public's attention, don't lose or die out. Here you can see a certain portion of the protesters that are on the street. We went up to a building to film this, but my camera lacked the ability to zoom further. Here's a closer shot of everyone that was gathered on the street. The green people that can be identified easily are the police officers. Since it was New Year's Eve, and there also was a New Year's Eve celebration, protest, and rally, there was more police officers that were stationed than usual. We went back down to participate back in the rally and the New Year's event that was going to be held in about an hour. It is almost 12 o'clock at midnight, and all the protesters have gathered in front of the bell. Every year, Seoul City hosts an event where the mayor of Seoul and select athletes, other citizens, and professors gather to ring the bell 33 times. And the countdown towards 2017 begins. It's a new year, and people hope things get better. Whether it's their financial situations, whether it's their child's education problems, or whether it's the problem with the country that they live in. Everyone hopes that it will get better in 2017, a new year.
몸 건강에 잘 다녀오고 다른 취업들이 잘해서
A large candle stands by itself in the main street, made by the citizens. It represents the citizens' hopes of a brighter future. After everything's over, we head back down to the subway station, where there's approximately 300,000 people waiting to get on the subway. These peaceful rallies is what democracy really means, and it shows that citizens actually care about their politics and their country, and how their country should develop for the future and a better life. And as Abraham Lincoln once said, a country of the people, for the people, and by the people is the first step to achieving pure democracy.